Hey, how's it going, everyone? You're listening to episode 49 of the Rogue Riders podcast. One of the few things that every single person on earth can relate to is the food we eat. Okay, and it's a lot more than just substance. What we choose to eat influences our bodies, our lives, and our culture. And food also triggers a lot of emotions for people, like guilt and temptation, bringing back memories from your childhood, and the discipline it takes to stay on a healthy diet. So I hope you'll join us for a discussion of food and restaurant trends of 2019. My name's Nick, and I'm joined by 4 talented people here today. So if you guys don't mind saying your name and what you do, then we'll go ahead and get started. Shannon, would you like to start us off?
Hello. Adam, and I'm also a writer.
I'm Tori, and I'm a writer as well.
I'm Max, and I'm a web developer.
And I'm Nick. I do SEO here, and I'm a writer as well. So we have 10 food topics we're going to go through, starting with, so that's something we can probably all relate to some degree, overpaying for food. Iggy Azalea paid $64 for a grilled cheese in Las Vegas, and it was funny because she was made a big deal about it. She made posts about it, and usually we just cough up, a big expensive meal. We just pay the bill and move on, and we don't really get put on social media or anything like that. So what kind of food do you guys think is most often overpriced?
I mean, definitely when you go to like an amusement park or anywhere that has like entertainment, like concerts, like baseball games, they're gonna be super expensive.
For
I
sure.
feel like those are like Disneyland.
Yeah.
So.
Or the airports, like, this sandwich looks good. That's got to be $4.
Yeah.
Like $13.99. What the hell?
I was gonna say, I think location's a bigger factor than what kind of food it is. It's where you're getting it is the biggest factor.
But because this was just a grilled cheese and it's $64.
Yeah, I do think sometimes there are the, like artisan foods, they say that, they're made better and all that, they cost more, but sometimes it just seems like, $14 for a burger is a bit much.
Yeah, for sure.
I think especially if it's bad food, like at the amusement parks and stuff, it's usually horrible food.
You mean like health-wise, like junk food, or just like
Flavor-wise.
Or I think it's just like low quality food. Yeah.
Correct. It's just really bad, and then add to it a high price, it just makes things worse.
Interesting. So, what do you guys think? We already talked about location, but what are some other factors that determine whether cheap or more reasonable?
How it's made, where they source their food from.
That's a good point. And then, like, the restaurant you get it at, like, if they have a chef that's actually known or went to, educated, has, like, a degree from Cordon Bleu or something, like, puts a lot of effort into it, then I feel like those kind of restaurants are going to charge more. Because there's places, crazy, you can get a burger for 99 cents or, like, $25, depending what restaurant you go to.
It's true.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think too that certain foods like seafood or like produce, they have to be fresh every day. So that's another, like salads are always expensive, or like seafood is pretty much always expensive. Or if it's something that's more limited, like like lobster, obviously it's sort of like a delicacy and there's only limited quantity of it, so that drives the price way up.
For sure. Yeah,
obviously it's sort of like a delicacy and there's only limited quantity of it, so that drives the price way up.
For sure. Yeah, that extra refrigeration costs the restaurant, and then, for
like
sure.
Avocados.
It goes bad soon.
Mm-hmm. And rarity of food. There's like those really weird foods that you can get, like, what's that, like the cat poop coffee?
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Just really weird, and also that's notorious, so they can charge more for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like exclusive.
And I was gonna say like the seafood too. Like I've never seen like cheap seafood. It's always like,
if it is, you don't want to eat it.
It's always like
Like
the salmon's like $25 or something like that. Like
I feel like shrimp is probably like the cheapest seafood, but it's still not cheap. Yeah, it's like still more than meat.
That's a good point. Like, you'd almost be taken aback if you went to a restaurant and it's like, oh, $5 for a shrimp cocktail? Like, wait a minute. Okay,
yeah, it's
that
not
should be more
very
like
good.
$15. Yeah, it's true with sushi too. Like, most people. All right, so one more on that topic of overpriced food. So if you're the entrepreneur owning this restaurant, what are you counting on by selling overpriced food? like, does that mean more than just people coming in? Like, does it affect your status? Like, if you're a restaurant that's known to just crank out, hey, $10 for all these dishes, then are you going to be seen as an exclusive, like a exclusive kind of restaurant, where people want reservations? Like, I feel like at nice restaurants, they purposely make the food expensive, to support the ambiance and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it is kind of a status symbol for a lot of people to be able to afford something, even if it's not worth that price.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
or they think, oh, it's expensive. It has to be good and good quality, you know.
Yeah,
Like if it's cheap, then they'll know. But if it's expensive, then it's like the best. So
absolutely.
that's probably what they think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. What do you think, Max?
What they think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. What do you think, Max?
A lot of times, if it's the hip place, everybody's going there. Obviously, they're gonna bring the prices up. People keep going for some reason. I think that has a lot to do with it when it's a popular spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, again, like location. Like if they're located like in a downtown, like San Diego or downtown city, like it's gonna be really busy and people are gonna have to eat, and so they'll like go into your restaurant so you can charge more, like you were saying.
For sure. Totally makes sense. So, what are you guys' thoughts on eating contests? A local British pub here, Shakespeare's, is having a great white whale eating challenge, for example, where, just to give you an idea what goes on to these things, says, and I quote, single-handedly and without leaving your seat, finish a supersized version of our signature fish and chips, consisting of a 2-pound fillet of buttered cod, 2 pounds of proper chips, buttered cod, 2 pounds of proper chips, and a side of peas. Do it in 45 minutes and you can save the $35 of the meal costs. So, if you guys had to do an eating contest, what food would you choose? What do you think you'd have the best chance of winning at? And then what would your strategy be?
Well, I think it would be easy to do something that was like a lot of small pieces. Like if it was just the chips, the French fries, just a whole plate of those would be simple. You can just keep eating French fries no matter what.
I
There's
totally
always
agree.
room for French fries.
I agree. That'd probably be the easiest possible thing for me to eat is French fries or like maybe chips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like something.
Nacho chips or potato chips?
Any
Wouldn't
chips.
matter.
Honestly, yeah, just like something simple like
Something
that.
you can keep shoving into your mouth and not even think about it.
And like you won't get that full.
Yeah.
Like you'll get full, but like you can keep, like you said, you can just keep eating
And
that.
I can just have one more fry.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to like just like something simple like
Something
that.
you can keep shoving into your mouth and not even think about it.
And like you won't get that full.
Yeah.
Like you'll get full, but like you can keep, like you said, you can just keep eating
And
that.
I can just have one more fry.
Yeah, exactly. As
That's-
opposed to like the 2 pounds of fish.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna like start weighing on me eventually. I'm gonna start feeling heavy.
That's interesting, man. I would think the opposite. I would think the fries, like, I don't know if I've ever finished a plate of fries my whole life. Like, just get too full for them, man.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever not finished fries.
Yeah, there are some days that I just go out and I get a large thing of French fries just for lunch, and I just eat those.
I can totally relate.
Well, I think if I had just fries by itself, then I could finish it. But like a lot of times I'll get like a burger with fries, then the burger fills me up, so I can't
Yeah.
eat all
Well,
the
that's
fries,
true.
But,
And if
Yeah.
there's a beer too.
Yeah.
Really,
but I
so-
think for me, I would do salad. Like even though it's like kind of like bland and you would get tired of it, like I feel like a good
Yeah.
like Caesar salad. Like I feel like I never get full.
I'm out just from the peas on this. Like I could
Yeah.
eat salad. I can't eat peas. I'm
Yeah,
out.
that throws a curveball into it for sure. Fish and chips and then the peas, like, whoa. But so what kind of, if you're doing a salad eating contest, what kind of dressing are you throwing on it?
Probably Italian because it's like really light
Yeah,
and it just adds flavor to the lettuce.
for sure. I would agree with that. What do you think, Max?
If I had my choice of an eating or food challenge, I would choose cereal. Just
Cereal?
just go
It's pretty
full on
basic.
Lucky Charms all the way.
Lucky
up.
Charms.
I could probably win.
The marshmallows would make me sick
Yeah,
eventually
yeah,
from the
yeah.
sweetness. Yeah.
They are magically delicious. So that's the one you would go with, Lucky Charms?
Yeah, Lucky
Yeah,
Charms.
it's really light.
Yeah, it's
It feels
light.
like you can just keep
It's
going.
airy.
That's
What
why I
about
chose it.
small
I just
Yeah.
imagine myself which one goes down easier. I think. Lucky
My favorite
Charms
cereal is
would
Grape Nuts, but I feel like that's way too filling. Like, you feel like you've eaten a
be-
lot.
Right, it's way too heavy.
Oh,
so
true.
I wouldn't be able to win the competition that way.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Raisin Bran Crunch for sure. So, opposite question: what food would be your nightmare? Where you'd be first one out. If there's 20 people in this, you'd have to tap out.
A lot of like hearty southern food, very heavy,
Oh, like
very
creamy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
couldn't
like
do
a
it.
fettuccine alfredo or
Yeah.
something. Or, nice.
That's probably, yeah. I mean, like I love fettuccine alfredo, but that would be really tough for an all you can eat. Yeah, after like one plate of that, you're gonna be done. Or like mac and cheese. I think
Oh,
like
yeah,
I think
mac and
anything
cheese.
that's like really heavy with like cheese or cream. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be like
And fill you up
or
with it.
butter. Yeah, like anything that's really heavy with a lot of dairy would be
Yeah.
tough.
Like a tour of Italy from Olive Garden or something like
Yeah.
that. Like manicotti.
Yeah, I think anything like fried chicken or anything like that, I feel like I will get really full because the fried just bread just fills you up.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that's true. Fried stuff. What do you think, Max, would be your
I
worst
guess
nightmare?
to make it more of a challenge and more of a nightmare, I would just have to say like wasabi.
That would be awful.
Super spicy.
I would stay away from that.
That would be awful.
Man,
Right.
even one bite
That
of
would be
wasabi would do you in, yeah.
That would not be good. That's a good point, actually. Anything really spicy for an all you can eat would get
Yeah.
tough fast.
Oh man, when my brother was 14, we were in a sushi restaurant and I gave him $5 to eat a whole container of wasabi.
Oh.
And at the time, he was fully willing to do it. There's not a lot of coercion, but man, that reaction is priceless. We get somebody to do that.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
My mom tried. I remember when I was a kid, we went to a sushi place. I guess it was her first time, definitely, to a sushi spot. And she tried to be sneaky and tried to steal the avocado off of my brother's plate. She was like super rude, but it
Yeah.
was wasabi. Put it in her mouth real quick.
Nice.
Oh, she
That
was
was like
she was
poetic
choking.
justice.
Put it in her mouth real quick.
Nice.
Oh,
That
was-
was like
she was
poetic
joking.
justice.
Bad
plan.
That's like instant justice. Like you try to
Payback.
steal
It was.
something and it's not what you
they had
think.
to bring her like some kind of caramel or like milk candy. Supposedly it helps with the.
Yeah, milk helps.
Oh,
Yeah.
helps cool it down.
That's what they say.
Yeah, when we got pepper sprayed in the Navy, water didn't help at all, but they brought out milk for people, and people
Yeah.
were literally pouring milk in their face and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Mine would be nigiri, by the way, for the good thing, for the thing I would eat. The sushi where it's just the sushi over rice with wasabi. I feel like I could eat a lot of that. It's usually like 5 pieces for $15, so I don't get a lot, but that'd be a fun eating contest. So, what's a local restaurant you guys would like to highlight and give a brief review about what sets it apart and why it's worth for the listeners to check out? You want to start us off?
Yeah, I can start. The place that it's they're all speaking in Russian, so it's really authentic. And when they bring over your food, they tell you like, oh yeah, in Russia we eat it like this, so you might want to try it with this sauce and pick it up and like suck out the insides and then
Whoa.
eat it. And go like
That's
that.
cool.
It's really nice.
What is like Russian food? I don't really know.
I got the pierogi when I got there. It's kind of like a dumpling. And
I've
it
heard
had,
of that, yeah.
like
Ravioli,
potatoes.
except
Yeah.
instead of pasta, it's with a potato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I don't think I've ever eaten Russian food.
Yeah, me
Well,
neither.
you should go try it.
I'll try it out,
It's
yeah.
pretty good,
I'll check it out.
There's one in La Mesa too, Cafe Kalina, and they have pierogies and borscht with
Uh-huh.
like beet soup with lots of stuff in it and sour cream on top. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's unlike anything similar, really.
Check it out.
What do you think, Adam?
There's a place in Old Town that I pretty much always go there for my birthday, called Rockin' Baja Lobster. There's another one. It's like Mexican seafood, but it's really unique. Basically, they just bring you like what I always order. They'll bring like a big bucket of like lobster, crab, shrimp, whatever, and you can peel it all up, and then you get a ton of tortillas and salsas and stuff on the side. So you just kind of like make your own seafood tacos, like out of this big bucket. And the seasoning is really good. It's like this Baja seasoning, so it's got it's like seafood, but also like a distinctly sort of like Mexican food flavor to it. It's really good. Like a bunch of chips and salsa, or like sometimes I get like little fried lobster bites or whatever. Like just like all kinds of different stuff with lobster and shrimp.
Nice.
Usually.
Sounds good. There's a lot of excellent Mexican places down there too, like one after the next in Old Town.
Oh,
There's probably
yeah.
like 10 of them.
I'm always a big fan of Mexican seafood, so if you can
Okay.
if you can hit that sweet spot, then I'm in.
So that place like expensive because like
Oh yeah,
Mexican
I
seafood?
I go there for my birthday like with my parents.
Yeah, it's a special occasion. Yeah.
My birthday like with my parents.
Yeah, it's a special occasion. Yeah.
No, I would never go to that restaurant by myself.
You're not ordering it from Grubhub, right?
No, it's expensive.
Gotcha. Why are you, Tori?
So for me, I like kind of like the experience. Like I love going to like restaurants that have like an outdoor like patio and stuff like that. So my favorite place is Stone Brewery in Escondido because they have like this huge like restaurant. They have like a whole indoor and then like a huge like outdoor patio, and there's like 2 patios, and they also have really good food and like and drinks and everything. And so I feel like it just like you get the whole experience there.
Yeah,
That's
I think
awesome.
they have the Stone Brewing Festival coming up in like October or something.
Yeah, they do like Oktoberfest or something. Like last year, I didn't go to it last year because I was busy, but they had like a like the beard thing or whatever. Like it was like the no shave November, but like in October they were like, okay, you have to come with the beard. You're not gonna shave it for a month. But yeah, and like they also have one in like in October. They were like, okay, you have to come with the beard. You're not gonna shave it for a month. But yeah, and like they also have one in Liberty Station, but the one in Escondido is really big, and like they
It's
like
better.
yeah, and like their food's really good, and like everything is just like a really cool environment too.
Yeah, I was thinking about taking my dad because he loves Stone Brewing Company.
Yeah, it's good.
Very cool. Yeah, breweries usually have a really cool ambiance. I feel.
Mhm.
I think I have a place that might appeal to at least 2 of you. I like this place called Tostadas in North Park. I don't know if you've ever had it.
Mhm.
They sell, it's a seafood bar, and they also have fresh fruit, but it's like a 3 restaurant thing where it's the seafood place, and then right next door is like a taco shop, and then behind is a brewery a little bit with an outdoors, you can bring your dog and stuff. It's really good. They have, I would say like gourmet seafood. They have like ceviche and all the Mexican seafoods. You guys might know what those
Oh,
are,
yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so tostadas, that's their main thing.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Sounds good to me.
They also have tacos and beer, so.
Yeah.
So wait, when you said like the brewery and those places are all connected, like they're
Yeah, kind of. So they are their own little individual businesses, like establishments, but they are connected through like there's like an alley, and then they use the same
Oh, okay.
restroom, and
Oh,
so
okay.
they have this togetherness.
So it shares kind of like a courtyard where you eat. So you order it and then go sit
Yeah,
in the
you
middle.
can eat indoors, or you can eat
Okay.
in the back on
Okay.
what do they call, the beer garden?
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
It's like an upscale
IER.
food court.
Oh yeah.
yeah, that sounds good.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Mine would be Kaori Revolving Sushi on Conroy. The place is phenomenal. I mean, I lived in Japan 3 years, and every sushi place there almost has the sushi go round aspects, and it's just honor system. So I always thought, like, how would they do that here? They can't do honor system with a bunch. And it's just honor system. So I always thought, like, how would they do that here? They can't do honor system with a bunch of Americans. Come on. And so instead of just stacking the plates and being honor system style, they have a little thing where you feed the plate when you're done with it into the table. Plus there's a screen where if you eat 15 plates, and it plays like a little anime sequence and with the ninjas, and it spits out like a sushi toy. And then, I mean, they just go next level too, because it'll be not only the ebi, like the shrimp sushi, for instance, but it'll be like garlic with all these other flavors. And so you can just see the chefs back there cranking out sushis the whole time. It's easy to just order stuff up, custom made too. So that place is phenomenal. Highly recommend it. So here's another one to think about. If you won $5 million, but the catch was that you had to open a restaurant and run it the rest of your life, what kind of restaurant would it be? And what I'd probably call it Lucky Number 12. I may come up with a better name, I don't know. But anyway, it'd be a buffet, but a higher scale buffet where there would just be 12 dishes at any given time, and it would switch every week or two. And then effort would be put into making those 12 dishes high quality as possible, like high quality ingredients. It wouldn't be like cheap food like you might find at like a Golden Corral or some other standard buffet. So it would be like, if you go there, odds are you'll like at least half the things, and that they're going to be high quality. So hopefully that would be enough to keep people coming back. Plus it would have low inventory, because if you're only making 12 dishes, you can plan out, okay, we just need chicken and beef, or we just need steak and shrimp, or whatever, and you can make all the dishes based on those proteins, instead of having to have 10 proteins on hand at any given time, pay a lot for refrigeration and all that stuff. So that'd be my idea. What about you guys?
Well, my idea is kind of based on somewhere that I've been before called the Shakespeare Tavern. In Playhouse in Atlanta, Georgia, if you're ever there. highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. What they do is you go and you get your dinner, and it's like hearty British food, and then they put on a play. But it's not like a really formal sort of play. The whole point is to kind of emulate the way that it was in Shakespeare's time, where it was a casual thing, and they interact with the audience, and it's just a good time. So what I would do is I'd make some place like that here. I think I'd call it maybe like the Bard's Brews and Playhouse, and also have craft beers there, probably with like puns on Shakespeare plays. Because
Nice.
if there's something that people love here, it's, you know, craft beers. We have a lot of them here,
Oh yeah.
and so I think that would be a really fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Would you be one of the actors in the play? Would you
Oh,
take
I'd
part
love
in
that. That would be so much fun. Yeah. Love Shakespeare.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Thing to do.
Yeah.
Would you be one of the actors in the play? Would you
Oh,
take
I'd
part
love
in
that. That would be so much fun. Yeah. Love Shakespeare.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know a lot about Shakespeare, but it'd be cool just to go experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
The way
fun.
that it was meant to be put on.
Sounds
Definitely.
fun.
Yeah, I think mine would be, so I've actually thought about this before, like about like not opening a restaurant, but just if I had to open a restaurant. And so I have a dog, and I really like dogs and stuff, but like the problem that I have is like going to a restaurant, like my dog doesn't always want to like just like behave and just like sit next to me or whatever. So I would like open a restaurant where you can bring your dogs on the patio, but they also have like a dog park. And so if you want to just like let your dog go play while you eat and enjoy your friends, they can go like run around. And then like to get home, instead of driving like home drunk, I would like somehow make like a dog friendly Uber so you can bring.
Dog friendly Uber?
Because like you.
It's two businesses.
Well, like it wouldn't be called Uber, but like a dog friendly like ride share thing, because
Oh,
like
that's cool.
like usually you can't like bring a dog in the Uber, and so you're like, well, I have to like drive home, but like I just been drinking, so
The restaurant would have to have like its own taxi service,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, exactly.
Like an independent,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
independent
exactly.
transportation to and from the
Yeah.
That's
restaurant.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Would you also have a dog menu? Or like could
Um,
we have different doggy biscuits? and
yeah,
stuff?
I've seen other restaurants that have that, so yeah, I would do that, but like I'd make it like all like a natural dog menu, because like my dog I know has like a sensitive stomach, and like I only feed him like food with like good ingredients, so I'd make it kind of like a
Okay.
fresh like dog menu.
Oh.
So
I wonder
yeah,
how your dog would feel about the Beyond Meat taco.
he definitely throw up.
Damn. What would your name be?
I don't know if I have a
Fancy
name
dog
yet.
restaurant?
Like I've heard, I don't know if this is a thing, but like the Bark Park. I've heard, I don't know if this is a thing, but like the Bark Park or something, like something within those lines,
That's
like
pretty good. Bark Park
Yeah.
Cafe. Bark Park.
Yeah, I
like
don't-
that.
I don't know.
That's cool. Really catchy. So, Adam?
I don't have an idea for a name, but the concept I was sort of thinking about is I like food that mixes a lot of different stuff together. Like kind of like that's what I do at home. Like if I have a bunch of leftover food, I'll just like somehow combine it together into something weird. Like I don't know. Like one thing I used to make at home a lot is buffalo chicken nachos. Or I'd like do that, or I'd think of like carne asada fries, but with like gyro or like falafel and that kind of stuff. So like Greek fries. Like I like making sort of like unpredictable combinations of food. And
Okay.
so I'd want to have a place where they have a lot of like really unique dishes that you wouldn't be able to order somewhere else. They're combining ingredients from like these different, just like we're mixing all kinds of stuff together. Like
Yeah.
no matter what you
Don't
are.
label me.
Yeah, there could be vegetarian stuff too. Like whatever. Like just anyone could find like some interesting combination to eat there.
Yeah, that sounds good, man.
yeah, it sounds unique.
What do you think, Max?
I really, really like Chipotle, and I would love to own one. But if I won this money, or if I had this money, I would probably, I think I would open one called Guacamole, and the catch would be that guac is free, because nobody likes paying $2 for
Yeah.
a spoonful of guac, right?
How are you gonna pull that off since an avocado is like $19 now?
Yeah.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way. I'm pretty sure those $2 for Chipotle is like 95% profit. They're buying wholesale. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah.
feel that's where the competitive advantage would be. Just give the guac, have everything pretty % profit. They're buying wholesale. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah.
feel that's where the competitive advantage would be. Just give the guac, have everything pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think maybe if people heard that, like, oh, this place is Chipotle, but the guac is free, then you might get more people, and that
Yeah.
could make up for the difference.
Oh,
Or
good
you could
point,
pull a
good
Mr.
point.
Krabs and start like charging for napkins and stuff like that.
Box food, you gotta pay for napkins, of course.
You gotta model your restaurant after Krabby Patty.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we said avocados for you, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Can I
and
have a cup of water? Yeah, that'll be $2.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, and I feel like in California, there's a lot of people who have like avocado farms. So I'm sure you could find someone and kind of like make a deal with them somehow, you know, like be like, oh, like trade you this for this if you give me like avocados for cheap.
Yeah, then you can say, oh, from this local place.
Yeah, kind of like free
Right.
advertising for them. Yeah.
Even Del Taco does that at the drive-thru. They had a sign up saying, Michelle picked these avocados on. Even Del Taco does that at the drive-thru. They had a sign up saying, Michelle picked these avocados on. It has the date on it and everything, ensuring that they're fresh or whatever.
Hmm.
But so, do you have a special recipe for your guac that would make it better than everyone else?
Yeah.
Is it a secret?
It's a secret.
All right. Like the Colonel Sanders of 11 original ingredients. All right, so
12.
Gotcha. So Subway has joined the many restaurants that are serving plant-based meat products, namely Beyond Meat, and then there's also Impossible Meat. But so today we tried Beyond Meat tacos from Del Taco, and then some of us have had it in the past. So, what's your opinion on Tori, on Beyond Meat on that taco?
Yeah. So well, Del Taco isn't like my favorite fast food place to begin with. Like I think whether like it wasn't like bad or anything. But I did get like a little piece of the meat by itself, and it like, didn't have a lot of flavor. But like I wouldn't say I hated it. Like I still ate it and stuff. But just it wasn't like my favorite. It didn't compare it to a regular taco.
Didn't you think the consistency? I thought the consistency was on point.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely for like a fast food taco, like it was definitely on point. Like the cheese, I don't know if it's just because it was Del Taco, but I thought the cheese might have been vegan. I don't know. I'll have to like look
Yeah,
at.
we'll find
Yeah,
out for sure.
I'll have to,
I'm
like,
curious.
I'll have to go there and ask them if like the cheese is regular cheese. But
I don't think it is, because my sister's a vegan. She like complains all the time how all of these fast food places
Yeah.
that have fake meat still have real cheese
yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
I don't think virtually
Okay.
any of these places have fake
I don't think
cheese.
vegan cheese melts that way. Cause
Yeah,
like,
it
was all
doesn't.
Maybe not.
melty
Yeah,
and
no, I think it
like
was just maybe like weird cheese.
yeah, I think it's just that they're cheap
that.
cheese.
That's the typical cheese.
Yeah.
Still taco cheese. What do you
Yeah.
think, Max, about the Beyond Taco?
they're cheap cheese.
That's the typical cheese.
Yeah.
Still taco cheese. What do you
Yeah.
think, Max, about the Beyond Taco?
I thought it was pretty good. Well, as you guys know, I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah, that
And
helps.
I don't actually remember what ground beef tastes like by now, but I think it was a good taco, especially coming from Del Taco, which, like I said, I've stayed away because they haven't had vegetarian options or good vegetarian options for the longest. So we got to here and they're finally catching up. And for Subway, I have had their veggie patty. They've had a vegetarian patty for a while. That one's pretty good. I think that's one of my favorite places to eat in terms of fast, cheap vegetarian.
Oh, okay. I've
Subway.
seen those. Those are pretty good, huh?
I've seen those
Fresh.
too.
Nice. Nice. I thought, yeah, I agree with Max. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I eat all kinds of fast food tacos, to be honest, Taco Bell and Del Taco, and I destroyed it. I thought it was pretty awesome, especially with all the ingredients combined. So I've had veggie burgers a lot in the past. They just taste like chickpeas and a weird consistency sometimes. So I think they solve the consistency problem. So it doesn't look like meat in the taco. And then, yeah, I don't think it tasted bad. It's just like a mild, different aftertaste. But other than that, I think it was pretty spot on. What about you, Shannon?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. You know, I don't call myself a vegetarian because I eat meat sometimes, but I don't eat meat very often, maybe once or twice a week, if that. And especially not beef. But I thought it was pretty good overall. I mean, it helped that I hadn't eaten yet this morning, so everything
Yeah.
tasted
That's right.
really good.
That doesn't hurt.
But yeah, as far as you know, fake meat goes, I think this is the closest that it's been so far.
Wow, nice.
I agree. Yeah, I agree that it's getting better at least, and I agree with Tori too that I'm not a big fan of Del Taco to begin with, but it's getting better at least, and I agree with Tori too that I'm not a big fan of Del Taco to begin with, but I I agree with what you said that the texture is like on point. It definitely looks and feels like real beef. I'm not sure about the taste, but I think with something like a taco, it's easier to pull off because yeah, there's sauce and lettuce and
Yeah.
tomato or cheese or all that stuff in the shell and everything. I've tried in the past the Impossible Burger. I'm not a fan of that, even with cheese and other stuff on it, because I don't know. To me, like a good burger is pretty much my favorite thing. Like there's few
I
things
gotcha.
that I like better, and yeah, to me, I guess to me the fake meat could maybe replicate like a well done burger. But it doesn't
okay.
have that I like burgers like really rare. So it doesn't have that
Yeah.
juicy like, really aspect to it. And it doesn't have that, for lack of a better word, like meaty flavor, that meaty
Yeah,
aftertaste.
Chocolate kind of
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah.
Is it kind of dry then?
Yeah, it's a little dry, it's a little lacking in juice, and like with it for me.
Yeah, I think it'd be really hard to replicate that because like obviously like veggies and stuff don't taste like a burger, so it's hard to like put
Yeah.
this together and
I'm glad though that there's an option out there. Like I said, like my sister's a vegan, so like I think it's good that if I want to get a burger that we could go somewhere and she could get the fake one. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we can both eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I guess in those terms, you're right. Like if you go out with someone and or to a place where they sell burgers, and as a vegetarian, at least you can get something. But I've been a vegetarian for a long time now, and even to this day, I stay away from those like hamburger patties. Usually like very hard or tough, and they're not very flavorful either.
Oh, you're not a fan?
I'm not at all.
Okay.
That's why I don't know if you guys remember, I mentioned last week that I usually don't like any of the fake meats or the fake like chickens and all that stuff. They're just not that good, honestly.
So those ones at Subway aren't trying to replicate a meat, they're just veggie patties made to taste good.
Right,
Subway aren't trying to replicate a meat, they're just veggie patties made to taste good.
right, correct.
Okay.
They're made by Morningstar, I think.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
Morningstar is pretty good.
They're
Like
pretty good.
like you were saying, Nick, about the ones that have chickpeas and stuff. I actually like those because they're not trying to replicate beef. They're not trying to be meat. And I like having an option to have a burger that's not actually a burger because I don't like the taste of beef.
Yeah, those aren't bad. Yeah, I was just remarking that they're still like a far cry from being like beef because they do have the veggies so distinctly tasteable in there.
Well, that makes
But
sense.
I do like those as well. Those are pretty good. But there's like not even attempting to replicate a burger, I guess.
Well,
with
yeah,
some of
you
those
said you don't
places.
like the taste of a real burger to begin with, so that
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. So, yeah, that was definitely interesting trying those, and I bet we'll see a lot more of them in the future too. Restaurants seem to be really picking those up all the time here. So, after somebody lost 40 pounds so have any of you guys ever tried a diet that limited your foods? And what was some of the biggest challenges you faced on that? Max, you want to chime in on that one? Have you tried a diet that's limited
Well-
your foods and then?
Well, I don't eat meat, so that's a little limiting.
Yeah.
The biggest factor I think is not knowing who's cooking your food. Like if you go somewhere, a lot of times these cooks, they don't actually care that you're a vegetarian. You order the vegetarian meal, but if a piece of meat finds its way to your food, they don't actually care.
Yeah.
Or any other animal product. So I think that would be the big factor for me as a vegetarian.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Have you ever tried a diet that limited your food?
Yeah, so like recently I've kind of been like off and on trying keto. And like there was like I tried it for like a week, but it was really hard to actually like do it and not eat like any sugar or like carbs or whatever because like for like a week, but it was really hard to actually like do it and not eat like any sugar or like carbs or whatever because like I would go to work and like forget lunch and I have to go buy something,
Yeah.
or like I like don't always have time to like meal prep or don't want to meal prep because I'm too tired. And so I tried keto, but like now I'm just trying to do like a low carb diet, so that's a little bit easier.
Nice, nice. What about you, Adam? Have you ever tried a diet where you had to cut back on? Now you see whatever you want still.
Yeah, I'm not literally. Like I mean, I make like I try to make somewhat practical decisions. Like okay, I had a burger and fries for lunch, so I'm gonna eat something lighter and healthier for dinner. Like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't do anything like strict though. No, I've never actually been on a diet.
Is there any ever times where you're driving home and you're like, damn, I really want to hit up that McDonald's, but I shouldn't. I just had one.
Yeah, no, like
you
that.
talk yourself out of it. You
I
have
guess
that
that's like
inner
the
struggle.
that's the closest thing to like a restriction I would have is if I'm talking myself eating something that's like unhealthy, especially if
Yeah.
I already had something unhealthy that day, or like or like maybe like like maybe in the middle of the day, like I'm falling asleep and I'm like, oh, I kind of want a soda, but I already had one, so I don't need another one. You know, I'll stick to the one, like that kind of stuff. But no, I've never done like a diet.
Long day.
Yeah.
I guess. How about you, Shannon?
Yeah, well, when I transferred from community college to a 4-year university, it was my first year living on my own, and I ate the cookies and Hot Pockets diet, and I gained 20 pounds in
Oh my
like
God.
9 months, and then after that, I didn't have a scale, so I went back to my parents' house and I weighed myself, and I was in shock. I knew that I was not eating well, but I didn't know it was that bad. So then the next year, I limited my diet a lot, and I was just eating. I think it was a lot of mainly down, like what I would normally eat, like half of it, because it was just for the goal of like losing that weight.
Oh man, what kind of Hot Pockets was it that you were addicted to?
Well, I still love these. The 4 cheese with the buttery garlic crust.
Oh,
I have to
yeah.
limit myself on those though.
Sounds like a cheese pizza, basically, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I definitely ate my share of those back in the day too. Hot Pockets. Okay, so yeah, I've tried paleo. We did 2 20-day cleanses. Not really a cleanse, but just follow paleo. And what that is no dairy, no grains whatsoever. And after the first week, I was literally having dreams about burritos and tortillas, just like having withdrawals. And I didn't understand keto at the time, so that probably would have added a lot of insight to what was going on in my body. But yeah, I mean, I was just craving carbs and tortillas, and really what ended up breaking tortillas. And so we were making tacos because you can make no grain tortillas with almond flour and egg and other ingredients. And so once we started making those, we quit losing weight and we're like, screw it. But and it's interesting how any diet you follow, there's ways to cheat.
Yeah.
Like if you're a vegan, you can eat all like Oreos. you
Yeah.
know, for
Or
instance.
pasta or whatever.
Yeah, so
I love Oreos. I
Yeah.
love.
what was the best kind?
I like the regular ones and the double stuffed ones, but
And
just the regular ones.
I saw a list recently, like all the like they have like 20 kinds, and double stuff was their number one.
Yeah.
Right.
I still like the originals better.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard that they're bringing back those like peppermint ones that they had.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah,
Those
Usually
are
for
so
the
good.
holidays, they do,
Yeah.
right? Because of like the orange ones for Halloween. and,
Yeah, yeah, I love like the mint. Oh, I love those.
Yeah,
Those
Usually
are
for
so
the
good.
holidays, they do,
Yeah.
right? Because of like the orange ones for Halloween. and,
Yeah, yeah, I love
Peppermint
I love like the mint chocolate flavor anyways, and so like those are really good.
Me too. I love the mint ones.
Are those the cookies you were addicted to?
No, the cookies were actually those really soft sugar cookies that they sell in stores for every holiday with the different colored soft icing.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
just sit and eat an entire packet of those.
Yeah, and like those like the most like fattening cookies too, because they're so
Yeah.
like fluffy and stuff.
And they're
Yeah.
big. They're
Yeah.
not small
So soft.
cookies
Yeah.
either.
I think they're called sugar cookies.
But they have frosting on
maybe,
them too, and
yeah.
they're soft. Because some sugar cookies are like, as soon as you bite them, they crumble apart.
Well, they're like the soft sugar cookies.
Yeah, these are the soft,
Yeah.
like chewy kind.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, now I'm hungry. Thanks, guys. So, all right, part B to that. If you had to live on just one food for the rest of the year, for a whole year, what would you choose? Or every day you're eating some what would you choose?
Well, I think I would have to go with potatoes because there's so many different ways that you can make potatoes. You know, potatoes, there's french fries, mashed potatoes, you know, just have a baked potato. And they're really healthy. And you can put a lot of other stuff on them that makes them, you know, it spruces them up a little bit. Makes it easier to eat.
That's true.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's one of the most versatile foods for sure.
Definitely.
What about you, Adam?
I guess it depends like how strict you are about one food, but like one thing that I thought of is how many different ways I eat chicken every week.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
but I don't know if that counts as one food because you could almost argue that
It does.
in all these different things it's like different food. But yeah,
yeah, it counts.
yeah. I was just thinking that on a given week I probably eat chicken in like 5 different forms. You know,
Yeah.
pasta, sandwich,
Oh yeah, fried chicken,
chicken nuggets,
chicken
yeah,
clubs.
whatever.
Chicken on a salad.
Yeah,
so
it's
many ways to
in
do it.
so many things with chicken.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Like 5 different forms. You know.
Yeah.
pasta sandwich,
Oh yeah, fried chicken,
chicken nuggets,
chicken
yeah,
club
whatever,
sandwich,
whatever.
chicken
it
on a
is.
salad.
Yeah,
so
it's
many ways to
in
do it.
so many things with chicken.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think for me, I would say tacos, because, like, again, that's, like, maybe could be cheating, because you could put so much stuff in it, but, like, you can, like, seriously make, like, so many different kind of tacos, like, oh, I'm gonna fill it with, like, veggies and, like, chicken or, like, beef, like, I feel like tacos are, like, so versatile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Man. What about you, Max? If you had to eat one food for a whole year?
I think I'm on this one a little like Adam. Like, does it count if variations of the same food? Like,
No, yeah, whatever your interpretation is.
whatever my interpretation. If I had to eat one ingredient, it would be like rice and just put a bunch of stuff in it. Maybe have vitamins every day to stay healthy.
Yeah.
If I could choose something more complex, I would say Chipotle again.
Chipotle is pretty good, man. So, yeah, for me, tacos was definitely my original answer. I love tacos. As anybody who knows me knows, I get tacos a lot. But I'd probably go with sandwiches, like even turkey sandwiches. You can put different toppings on them. I feel like they're never that filling. You always feel like, oh, that was reasonably healthy after you've eaten one.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not like as good as an awesome, you know, taco or pizza or anything like that, but still, it's like a good, reliable, realistic thing. I feel like I could probably throw some tomatoes and pickles on there. Got a lot of flavors going on, so that'd be my choice probably. But it would be a pain. So I like variety a lot. So
Me too.
I almost never eat the same thing like
Mhm.
twice a week.
Agreed.
Unless it's like, I don't know, like I'll eat tacos every day, let's be honest, but
Yeah, like,
not many things.
I can't have like the same thing for dinner like twice in a row. Like I have to have like something different every week, or like at least like have something like 4
Many
days.
things.
I can't have like the same thing for dinner like twice in a row. Like I have to have like something different every week, or like at least like have something like 4 days apart. Cause I just like I can't
Yeah.
just
I
do
agree.
one
I'm
or
the
two
same
things.
way.
When I have leftovers, I'll usually wait like a couple days before I want them again, for sure.
I think I'm the complete opposite of all of you guys. I like consistency, honestly.
You set up Chipotle.
I mean, if I could have Chipotle several times a week, I would. But I still like consistency, so I have like probably between my choice of like 2 or 3 breakfasts, and I would just do that all week, and then same for lunch and dinner. I like sticking to what I like.
Yeah, it's simple.
Yeah.
Makes
For me, it's
sense.
just I can't eat the same thing too much in a row.
Yeah.
Like, I do have like a set number of meals that I know I like and I fix, and I do meal prep,
Yeah.
but I kind of spread it out over the week so that I'm not eating the same thing for dinner twice or 3 times in a row.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a little boring if you have them like in a row back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There used to be a girl here that would make a full week of Taco Bowl on Sunday, and then every single day for lunch. Over a year, it'd be the exact same.
That would
Gosh,
drive me
yeah,
crazy.
I would get tired
I would
of
get-
that so fast.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, me too. So, in response to the vegan meats that have been popping up in a lot of restaurants, Arby's responded with a carrot completely made out of meat, saying, "We have the meatables." So, do you guys think that obviously this is like a funny, silly marketing ploy, essentially, which you know, Arby's has H. John Benjamin, that guy who does the voice of Archer and Bob's Burgers, doing their ads, that bearded guy in their ads. So they're going more sense of humor routes. And so do you guys think this is kind of offensive at all to vegetarians or people who are really trying to limit the animals that they eat by kind of making fun of that? Or do you think how do you think it'll affect their brand at all?
I mean, I think it's just like a joke, like, I eat those, but like, I don't want to eat those either. Like,
It looks gross.
I like saw a picture in the article and like, it looks gross. Like,
Yeah, like a giant carrot. This, like you'd have to slice it like a cake or
Yeah.
something.
It's weird.
And it's made out of meat.
Yeah.
so I think
It's
it's a
really
joke.
weird.
Like, I don't know why anyone would be offended by it. Just like, don't eat it. Like, I feel like vegetarians and stuff don't really eat that. Was it Arby's? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Arby's,
I
yeah.
feel like they only have vegan options anyways. So like,
True.
I could tell you though, for like, yeah, in terms of like, I remember my sister like chiming in about that. She's the I don't know if I don't know if I'd say she was offended, but she was like annoyed about it. Like
why was she annoyed? Like, what was the reason?
because she's one of those people who's always trying to, yeah, you know, like push for less meat, and stuff like that. So I get it's kind of going back to what you said, that she felt like it was more like mocking the efforts to like make less meat. So
Sure.
I don't know if I necessarily agree. To me, I kind of agree with you in that for a marketing gimmick. And
Yeah,
I can't imagine
absolutely.
who's actually going to eat that.
Probably because their full menu emphasizes meat, like in the commercial.
Yeah.
It's like, we have the meats
We have the
for
meats.
sandwiches,"
Yeah, that's their
or
thing.
whatever. So it's like they're a meat heavy restaurant. So it's almost like there's taking that stance of being the meat representatives and, poking fun at the vegan community.
I think they're
guess.
doubling down. Like, we don't really want to offer like vegan options and stuff. Like, it's fine that vegans don't.
Right.
This is a restaurant like for meat eaters. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what
That's
they're
a
trying
good
to
point.
establish. Like, doubling down. Like, we're not going to be one of these other places that has this stuff.
That's a good
like,
point. They might not get the Impossible and Beyond Meat.
And I think that's
Yeah.
fine too. It's like, if that's going to be just like a meat heavy
Yeah.
place, then
Yeah,
it's fine.
Sure.
and I think by doing like the meatables or whatever, or what's it called?
Yeah,
Yeah.
meatballs. We have the meatballs.
Meatables. I feel like that's like they're like, this is as close to vegetables as you're gonna get here. Like,
Yeah, they're just sort of like making a joke. Yeah.
It is,
like,
yeah.
there's no
It's pretty
vegetables
funny.
here.
What do you think, Max?
It's like they're like, this is as close to vegetables as you're gonna get here. Like,
Yeah, they're just sort of like making a joke. Yeah.
It is,
like,
yeah.
there's no
It's pretty
vegetables
funny.
here.
What do you think, Max? As a vegetarian, do you think that's mocking the effort overall? Or?
I don't find it offensive or anything, but to be honest, I don't remember being in a group of friends or in a car ever and somebody saying, "Let's go to Arby's."
I've never
meat
been.
eaters- Even meat eaters, so like, they can do whatever they want. I still will go.
Has anyone here eaten? I've never eaten
Yeah,
at Arby's.
yeah, I-
Oh yeah, I've eaten
once,
there.
maybe.
Yeah, I have. There was like a Arby's like where I grew up and stuff in Escondido, and like my dad for some reason always likes going to Arby's, and so like
Yeah, my mom loves it.
and so I like went with him a few times, and like it wasn't my favorite, but like it was alright. Like, they have really good fries though.
Actually, I have had their
Yeah,
curly
they have
fries.
curly
I've
fries.
never
They're
had
really good.
I've never had a sandwich from there though.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like roast beef, so I'm not a big roast beef fan, but
Yeah, I feel like their beef chatters and then their grilled chicken sandwiches are pretty legit.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me about this is that there's so many types of vegans out there. Like there's some who are just die hard, like connected with their morals, where it's like no, I love the animals and never want any animal to be harmed. Like, were you saying that you have a vegan friend who doesn't even eat honey, right?
yeah, she doesn't even eat honey, and like it was really recent too. Like she just started going vegan like less than 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and now she doesn't even eat honey because of like the bees and everything like that.
I'm pretty sure if you're vegan, technically you're not supposed to. eat
Yeah, but
honey.
like not a lot of vegans
Follow that rule.
do that.
Yeah.
Like most vegans, they don't eat dairy and stuff, but like I know a lot of vegans who still eat
If
honey.
you're a real
Nice
vegan, you
little-
shouldn't have leather in your car either, or like in your clothes. I'm serious. Like that's
Yeah.
that's how you the real deal. If you're going all
You
the
don't
way,
eat any animal product
Yeah.
in your life at all.
that would be my sister. She's one of those.
She's hardcore. Wow.
But is it real
It's good
leather
for her.
in cars, or is it kind of like the fake leather?
I guess if it's fake leather, it doesn't. If it wasn't made from an animal, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
like
Okay.
if
Well, she just rip the seat out and get out
Yeah.
and drive it or something.
Well, cause like in like some cars, like if it's like a Toyota, like are they gonna have real leather seats, or is it kind of
Probably
like
not,
like the
'cause
fake leather?
It's easier to manufacture a bunch of fake leather.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be
That's
easier.
true.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of cars are just cloth seats too.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
but if you're a full-on vegan, you technically shouldn't be using any kind of animal
good point.
products.
A lot of vegans see it more than a diet as a lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
lifestyle, right?
So in a way,
So those vegans might be offended, or
See, I don't fall in that category because I have a leather belt.
Well,
I've
That's
tried.
right.
and you're not
leather,
vegan either, right? You're just
Yeah.
vegetarian.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
I
It's a big
still think
difference.
like probably shouldn't be wearing. I still try to stay away from most animal products to be honest. But I've tried fox leather belts and they just I have to buy one every year
Oh,
or
okay.
something. Probably shouldn't be wearing. I still try to stay away from most animal products to be honest. But I've tried fox leather belts and they just I have to buy one every year
Oh,
or
okay.
something. And then I bought this leather belt like 4 or 5 years ago. I've had it since. No, leather's definitely a good material for some stuff.
Not stronger.
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. So Italy recently blocked a McDonald's from being built near the 1800-year-old Baths of Carcalla. So is there any restaurant that you guys hate seeing pop up everywhere in your neighborhood? I gotta say, for me, I don't look fondly on McDonald's a whole lot, 'cause those around every corner. But also Starbucks, that's my number one. Because like, I know on Lake Murray Boulevard, they recently put a really cool cafe there called Brew, and they have trivia nights. There's always locals there. There's just people of all ages. They have huge Danishes and fresh pastries and stuff, and it's really awesome place. So it's like, man, enough of these damn Starbucks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
I always love when I see a Starbucks right across the street from another Starbucks. It's like, come on, you could leave some room for a local coffee shop. 'Cause I love a lot of the local coffee shops around here. Like, I love Brew Coffee Spot. And there's, the Stats is also really
Oh
great.
yeah, the Stats or Cosmos, some of
Yeah.
those.
Nice.
It's really good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I'd rather go to like a local coffee shop, but like sometimes all there is Starbucks, and so I'm like in my town, like they put up like 2 Starbuckses like within like 10 minutes of each other, and it's like you could not put in like a more unique coffee. You had to be 2 Starbuckses. like I know it's popular, but I feel like if they put in like even like a Better Buzz or like something that's still like big but it's not a
Seattle's
Starbucks.
Best, or, like, there's so many
Just
other options.
some
Yeah.
variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like they have a
Yeah.
coffee.
And
in
so
some
I
places.
still go to Starbucks even though I'm like, oh, why they put another one? But like, it's so convenient. I just like go to it, but I'd rather it be a different coffee.
Yeah, I would agree on Starbucks. Like, for me, I mostly connected to when I was in college at SDSU,
Yeah.
and that there were like very limited options on the meal plan, like like less than 10 restaurants, and there were 4 Starbucks, literally
Oh, man.
4 Starbucks, and it's like, I just it drive me crazy. It's like there's so few places to eat, but there's 4 different Starbucks
Yeah.
in like a block, And I never liked Starbucks to begin with because I just don't. I guess I'm kind of picky about coffee, but I really don't like their coffee. And I also have always thought it's kind of overpriced. So
Yeah, their food
for what it
items
is,
and
like,
stuff.
yeah, I don't know. So Starbucks would definitely be the one for, and like you said, it seems like so frequently there's, like having 4 on a college campus, or like there's another shopping center by me where there's a big Starbucks. Directly next door to it is an Albertsons, which has a Starbucks
Yeah.
inside it. Inside it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I even asked them about that, like, what's the point? They're like, well, some people, like, need the Starbucks while they're shopping. They don't want to leave the store. It's
They
like,
need
Yeah.
it.
it's literally 5 feet away.
No, it's so
It's just
crazy,
like,
man. And it's such a huge margin too. It's like coffee, it's beans, and then you run water over it, and you're good. And I'll be like, oh, $6. Like,
Yeah.
damn it, man. What do you think, Max? Is there any restaurants that you hate seeing pop up all over your neighborhood?
I guess all the big ones, I don't have anything against them, but I do like supporting the local economy whenever I can, because obviously average people are trying to make a living.
Sure.
So whenever I can, I support the local economy. And I used to buy a lot at Starbucks. Like everyone has their own little time, right? But I try to stay away from them as much as I can.
Mhm.
Just completely avoid them. They're not only are they overpriced, they mess up the local business for just completely avoid them. They're not only are they overpriced, they mess up the local business for coffee
Yeah.
shops and stuff.
They're kind of like the Walmart of coffee shops.
Yeah.
They show up and just screw up all the local
Right.
places they're trying to make it.
I think more like Target because they're like they're not that bad.
And they're not rock bottom prices either.
They're at least Target status.
Sure, that makes
That's why there's
sense.
always a Starbucks inside of a Target.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a good point.
Yep. Man. So do you guys think there's some locations that should just be like, nope, no restaurants? Or do you think it's just, oh, cool, there's a McDonald's here at the Grand Canyon, like right in the middle of it? Or like, do you guys think it's more of a like some places should be sacred, or these Starbucks, McDonald's, and restaurants shouldn't be there? Or do you think, yeah, screw it, put a restaurant in at every single place we go?
I mean, I think if it's like a national park or like some like nature heavy, then you could put like a little restaurant there.
Like if you're going to a Statue of Liberty and there's like a McDonald's stand right outside of it or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, I don't know about McDonald's, but I mean, as long as it like looks good, like I've seen some McDonald's, like I don't know if it was like LA or something, and it was like I think it was like a brown McDonald's, like it like wasn't yellow and bright. It kind of like blended with the rest of the restaurants, and it was like it looked like a fancy McDonald's. So
Okay.
I feel like there's a way you can like make the restaurants like look nicer and not like cheap.
Oh, cool.
I mean, in this case, it's about a historic landmark. So
Yeah.
I think,
in
yeah,
this case,
it makes sense to protect historic landmarks. Because it'd just be really like inauthentic and weird
Yeah.
to have like any type of restaurant, even a nice
Mhm.
restaurant in the
For
middle. That would
sure.
be weird.
Or
like-
the whole place.
Yeah, I think like historic landmarks or like some sort of scenic nature. It's like some spots do need to be preserved. If it's already in like a crowded city or a developed area, then it's
Yeah,
whatever.
fair
Mhm.
game. What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah, I think that restaurants should be a certain distance away from places to preserve, the experience of going there. And I hate to say it, but for taking pictures, when I go and I take a picture of a place, maybe I want to hang it on my wall as a piece of art.
True.
I don't want a McDonald's in the picture.
Yeah.
And also that creates a lot more trash in those
Good point.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
true
It
too.
really does. Yeah, that more trash. Yeah, I agree. I think it cheapens the experience for sure. Did you chime in on that one, Max? No.
I would have to agree with Shannon. I think that, they could be close or nearby. Why not?
Yeah.
Just not right in the middle of like, especially with historic places. Like, we could preserve them a little better.
Yeah, that makes sense. For sure. So, consumers are demanding more transparency about the transparency of their meats, including what it's made of and where it comes from. So, do any of you buy organic meat? Is this something that you're concerned about? For me, I have a buddy who recently told me his girlfriend got cancer, and so they switched organic, and we had a big conversation about it. It really got me thinking. Now, when I go to the store, I do buy organic, or at least look for and compare prices. It's always a few bucks more, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like in the long run, it probably makes a difference. What about you guys? Do you look for any special type of quality or type of seal when you're buying stuff, or when it comes to veggies or meats?
Yeah, I don't usually get organic. Like once in a while I will, but it's always more expensive. But I try to get look for good quality. So I won't get the Foster Farms chicken or something. I'll kind of try to get usually the Safeway brand or whatever, or Vaughn's brand or whatever signature chicken or something. I'll kind of try to get usually the Safeway brand or whatever, or Vaughn's brand or whatever signature. I try to get a better quality meat, but not necessarily. It doesn't have to be organic. Just I could tell it's not the worst quality.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to get the cheapest option available because relating back to what we're talking about with price and food, it just doesn't feel like that would be good for me.
Yeah.
But I do have a problem with, paying too much for something because I'm kind of on a budget. And so I do kind of shy away from things that say organic on them very prominently, even though I think it would be better to buy that because I just think in my head there's a connection. That's going to be expensive. That's going to be too expensive. If I buy
Gotcha.
too much organic stuff, then that's going to put me off my budget.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think for me too, having a kid really makes you look at some of these things okay, I've lived recklessly for however many years, but it's things. But
I like organic milk, honestly. I do like milk and cheese and all that stuff quite a bit, and I like organic milk because I feel like I do find a difference in taste usually.
okay.
I feel like it can be I don't know what it is. I think it's creamier, but I don't know if that's what I think it actually is. But there's something about organic milk that I really like.
It could be because they wouldn't have the hormone tags, the cows, because
Mhm.
cows usually have a tag on their ear and it just pumps hormones
Mm.
into them, and then organic wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
So, and then Adam, we already know you eat whatever the hell you want. So
Well, I don't know if
never
that's.
considered organic.
I don't think that's true.
Okay,
But
but
I think we eat a lot of organic meat at home, honestly.
Oh, you guys
but
do?
it's not necessarily a deal breaker for me. I agree with her too that if sometimes it's too expensive. Sometimes it's too expensive. But no, I do care about what I eat. I just mean that I don't want to restrict myself from eating any food group.
yeah. that
I'm
makes
not going to
sense.
eat meat or I'm not going to drink soda. And to me, it's just enjoying everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Good balance.
Yeah.
Nice. So, also along the lines of the quality, how much do you guys focus on quality and buying food. And if you're at a restaurant and it's more expensive, do you assume it's higher quality, or do you assume they're trying to rip you off?
Yeah, I think for like things like burgers and stuff like that, like I try not to get like that many like fast food burgers because like I know like there's
They're not
isn't
super
like
high
a quality. But I feel like if you go to like a good burger place, they're gonna have like fresher meat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's organic, but as long as it's like fresher and like has like less like hormones and stuff like that. So I try to like look for that, like hormones and stuff like that. So I try to like look for that. It's kind of like a balance. Like I don't always try to look for the best quality, but just kind of like have a balance of like cheap and good quality.
For sure.
I agree with you, right? There should be some kind of balance. I do feel like a lot of times good quality translates to better flavor, and I am a fan of at least pleasant looking food. Like, you know, it has to look good, and a lot of times that's also tied to the quality of the ingredients.
It's true.
So I do try to look for quality food, even though of course I'm always trying to find the best prices, but quality is important for me.
Absolutely. How about you, Shannon? Do you usually look for higher quality stuff, or if you're paying more, do you think it's going to be higher quality usually?
Yeah, I do think there is kind of that connection that, again, price and quality, that,
Higher quality stuff, or if you're paying more, do you think it's going to be higher quality usually?
yeah, I do think there is kind of that connection that, again, price and quality, that, you want to justify it in your head. If you're paying more, you're like, yeah, this must be higher
Yeah.
quality. It's not always the case, but
Exactly.
I do like to believe that
Yeah.
if I pay more for something, it better be higher quality.
I agree.
Better be.
Yeah. It does reflect poorly on the restaurants too. If you find out they're microwaving their food and then charging $15 for it, or
Yeah.
something like that.
For me, I'll pay more at a restaurant for the whole experience, because for me it's about the whole experience. Like, I'll admit that I love trendy hipster little like restaurants, especially a lot of the ones downtown and in North Park, because I like to go there and have the whole experience with, eating in a place that looks really nice, and if they plate their food really well, and so
I want to try it.
Sounds pretty good, man. I want to try it. All right, cool. So yeah, I think those new quality standards will be, I really don't see a negative at all, just for the restaurants that are trying to get by selling low quality meat or products for a higher price. They're the only ones that'll suffer from the regulations coming out. So I don't have a problem. All right, so last one here. Pizza Hut and Steak and Shake are both traditional restaurants that are closing hundreds of their locations this year. So what do you think in 2019, what do you think hurts Pizza Hut for starters? Like, what about Pizza Hut? Like, why are they thriving the same way Starbucks is thriving, for instance? Like, they're basically regressing and having to close a lot of locations.
Yeah, well, I think for pizza, like, at least for me, like, if I'm, like, with my friends or something and we want pizza, we're like, okay, let's order pizza. Like, it's really rare that we go and, like, to the, like, pizza restaurant. Like, when you do, like, takeout, you're, like, you don't, like, see, like, the full menu, so you're like, oh, like, you might not, like, add on extras. You might just get, like, your one pizza. So I think, like, for pizza, that makes sense, because, like, people aren't actually going to their restaurant. They're just ordering it.
I don't know. I feel like Pizza Hut always like mostly was like a delivery and takeout kind of place though. So I'm not really sure why specifically. Or like the other thing I thought of is their pizza's not very good, but like that was always true too. That's not new. So I'm not really sure what changed like specifically right now as opposed to in the past. Like I'd be interested like is there a whole business suffering like in terms of delivery too, or is it just like the physical locations that are suffering? Because if it's their delivery, like if they're still making plenty of money delivering through Grubhub and stuff like that, then that makes sense to me. If that aspect is struggling too, then that I think is like the more intriguing part.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, they closed 500 restaurants, so even if they were doing well with their delivery, it wasn't enough to keep those places going.
I guess so.
But that's interesting because usually, like their main competitors, Little Caesars and Domino's, they don't have a whole sit-down experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of them, you just walk in, order your stuff, and walk out. Whereas Pizza Hut always has a diner, usually a lunch buffet, and stuff like that. So maybe that pizza model that the competitors did, where it's like, yep, we just have a tiny place, come in, order, take your stuff, and leave. Versus, no, we have a whole restaurant, plus we do that stuff. Maybe that just drove the cost up too
Yeah.
much, you know?
I believe that's probably the case because I have only gone in to sit at a Pizza Hut like twice, and it was with like friends' parents who wanted to go and sit down and eat. And delivery is becoming a lot more popular. There's a lot of other third-party food delivery options like Grubhub, of other third-party food delivery options like Grubhub, Postmates, among others. And so people want their food delivered more than going in and eating somewhere.
Absolutely. And now that you can get any kind of food delivered from like sushi to Mexican,
Yeah.
whatever you want, that probably didn't help them either, since there's just a lot more competitors introduced for, you know, for the food delivery service.
Yeah, that makes sense because like in the past, like oh, you want to like order food, like pizza's the only option, but now you can like get anything delivered that you want. So
Absolutely.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's probably hurting pizza places a lot.
Alright.
So is the go ahead, Max.
I think I saw some statistics somewhere where there's going to be more food sold to go or delivered this year than dine-in.
Oh, really?
I'd believe
Right.
it.
Yeah,
And then for, like,
uh,
Pizza Hut, I had been to Pizza Huts like a couple times as well. It was never something like, I would say, like a great experience, honestly, like an old diner type thing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of outdated and
Mhm.
stuff. And I've been to Pizza Hut a lot too, and I think one positive it is they created the stuffed crust pizza, which now you see at a lot of other places.
Yeah,
So
not everyone has that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It is cheap too. It was always really cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, you get like $6 for the whole pizza buffet. that we
Yeah,
had,
it's
so-
definitely not the best pizza, but you can get a lot for like $5.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
for
not
sure.
the worst either.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not
I
the
think it
it's
was-
not the worst. I agree.
At least in personal opinion, I always thought it was better than Domino's.
Agreed.
Domino's does so much better.
In
so-
in my opinion, Domino's is the worst pizza.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah, probably.
It tastes like saltine crackers with ketchup
like,
on it.
like the box, like the cardboard box it comes in.
It's bad. Yeah.
All right. So what could they have done differently, you think, to try and be successful and change with the times? Probably, yeah, like you said, Max, adding more and be successful and change with the times. Probably, yeah, like you said, Max, adding more entertainment, like more of a reason to sit in their place. Like I don't know,
Yeah, I think
music or live shows or something. I don't know.
I think
TVs.
also a lot of word gets out online and digitally now, and I think we've talked about how Domino's really upped their website and their delivery process.
Mhm.
So it's a lot easier and it's just a lot nicer. And I don't know if I've seen anything like that for Pizza Hut.
Yeah, they have an app. Pizza Hut has an app. I've ordered it before, and you like go on it and you choose your pizza on the app, like all the toppings you want. So I don't know, like I don't think that was a big factor. Maybe it's not as like I don't know if they have the thing where you can like track your delivery, but I know that they at least have the app.
Maybe it's just that their marketing's not as good. Because like
Yeah,
I
maybe,
see
yeah.
Domino's commercials all the time,
Yeah.
whereas I can't really think of
And
seeing.
Little Caesars,
I think
good
I've-
one.
I've seen a Pizza Hut commercial in a while or
I
anything
can't
like
think
that.
of one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've seen innovative stuff from Domino's. They have that marketing ploy where you take a picture of any kind of pizza at all, and then you
Oh,
get a
yeah.
discount on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then Little Caesars, they also were inventive because they did the hot and ready, where it's like you show up at any time. We have like these 5 types
Yeah.
of pizza.
For
It's ready to
$5,
go
yeah.
for $5.
Yeah.
So if Pizza Hut, did something innovative like that, it might have helped them.
I know Domino's is also like pushing for the drivers less cars because they're trying to get that into their delivery system where
Oh yeah,
they don't need a human to deliver your food.
you save a lot of money for
Right,
sure.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and I think maybe Pizza Hut could have like they could have done like the $5 pizza, or they could have had like a higher quality option too.
Yeah.
Like still have the regular pizza, but also if people want like a higher quality like pizza, then they could also go there. Cause like I feel like that's a big factor now too. Like pizza, then they could also go there. Cause like I feel like that's a big factor now too. Like more people want like better quality and more like unique stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that was a factor too.
For sure. All right, so last one before we get to our quotes. So what types of restaurants do you think are going to struggle the most in 2019 and then, say in the next 10 years? what kinds of restaurants are we going to see more and more that they're closing and that kind of thing. For me, I was really surprised recently a new Dunkin' Donuts opened in El Cajon. Extremely popular. Every morning there's like 10 cars outside it. Just super popular, and I really thought that, with like fitness being more emphasized than it ever has been in history, that those kind of places might suffer. Places like Jamba Juice or places that serve acai bowls would become more popular, or even like Subway, which has healthy options. But even some places like Dunkin' Donuts are still thriving. So what do you guys think are the types, like genres of restaurants that probably won't survive in the next 10 years?
I think places like Applebee's and TGI Fridays.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
I don't know a lot of people that go there. Maybe a lot of, like, I've only been there with older family members, and as young people go more and more places. I don't think those are the places that we want to go.
Like Chili's, you would throw Chili's in there?
I was-
Chili's there too.
I was gonna say-
a lot of business though.
I went it because the Chili's has they have really good happy hour, and they have happy hour all day Sunday, and everyone goes there to watch football and the games and stuff. So I think Chili's they're a little bit ahead of the other ones in my opinion.
I really like Chili's, or I like some of those restaurants, but I agree with you that they're the type that are going to struggle the most, because I've even seen that, I've seen a lot of those restaurants close.
I think
just
Bennigan's completely.
I think they're gone, or there used to be a Fridays near me, it's gone. There's been a couple of, I think it's because more and more people are focusing on restaurants that specialize in a certain food, as opposed to this is just a general chain restaurant where nothing here is going to be the best, but everything's pretty good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
I think those restaurants have a purpose, because if you're with a group where people want different things, it's nice where it's we could just go to Chili's, you can get a pretty good burger.
It's not-
Yeah, you could get a pretty good taco or whatever the hell, and it'll all be fine. But I think those places are increasingly being pushed out by, we just make really good Mexican food, or instead of just kind of middle of the harder it is to make a profit and keep the restaurant running. So
Absolutely.
those places that have those 20-page menus, it's hard to keep it running.
That's right. That's what Gordon Ramsay always said when he was going in to fix a restaurant. He'd reduce their menu items to 8 things, and that's all they had to worry about.
Yeah, I think diners and those places that are generic, I think people they want to go for more the experience, the uniqueness and stuff like that. I don't go to a lot of the generic places, but I do go to Chili's just because especially on Sundays, because they're always playing all the sports games and stuff, and so I go to watch those, or they have really good deals and stuff, the 2 for $20 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel in order for a restaurant to survive now, they have to have the experience, or some kind of unique location or something.
That's a good point.
I agree. Chili's is honestly pretty good. It's it's underrated.
I think it's better than the rest of the generic.
I'm not I would always take Chili's over.
Mayonnaise in this, but then
I haven't had-
they've had a lot of good food there.
I haven't had their guacamole.
And the fact you can get drinks there helps too. That brings a lot more people in, I think, than to say Denny's or something, which
Mm-hmm.
is just a different demographic. You have any thoughts on that, Max, about what kind of restaurants you think might
I
fail in the next 10
I
years?
think it's a very interesting idea, those TGI Fridays and Applebee's and all those places. I hadn't really thought about those, but it's true. I never actually say I'm gonna go to these places. It's usually with my parents or my mom more. She's like, let's go to Chili's. Let's go have what do they call it, the margarita or whatever.
I feel like you end up going there, when it's a group of people and
Right.
everyone wants different things. So it's let's just go somewhere where
And
everyone
it's
can order
2 to
whatever.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Sunday.
I feel like it's a perfect place to go, for work, a work outing. I go and I don't know, I feel like that's why I picture for Chili's.
Definitely.
But once again,
Picture for Chili's.
Definitely.
the quality of the food has to improve. Even though it's okay, it's
Yeah.
not the best.
Mhm.
And when I know I keep coming back to this, but Chipotle has really good quality food, and it's fast food. So in terms of ingredients, I think that they have to up their quality if they want to continue being.
Chipotle is not priced like fast food though.
Yeah, no.
But it's still
Yeah.
not.
You're
It's-
dropping
it's-
$9
Yeah,
for a
it's still
burrito,
like
dude.
$9. Like I feel like I can go to a restaurant and
Dude,
get,
honestly, I
Like,
can
if
go
you're
to-
gonna- You're gonna say $2 at McDonald's. It's not that.
Well, not McDonald's, but I'm saying like I can go to so many Mexican restaurants and get a bigger like a burrito twice the size of Chipotle for half the price.
local-
But then in
authentic
terms
shops
of
and
quality,
stuff.
once again, like I don't think like the regular taco shops are usually that high quality. Their beans
Oof.
are usually.
They don't
I-
have as many ingredients.
I will take like
I know.
any taco shop
I
over
know,
Chipotle
but,
any
like,
day.
I love like Alberto's and those kind of places.
I don't like
Maybe
Chipotle.
it's because I come from like a Mexican home background, but I really feel like it's like home cooked style meals. Like
Chipotle? I would think Chipotle would like be really inauthentic
I
Mexican
thought it was like
food.
a really
It's like
white-
very.
white
I think of
Mexican.
Chipotle as
All the
white girl
ingredients
Mexican
fresh,
food.
Yeah.
though, so
I feel like carne asada fries and the rolled tacos. Those are really like complete imitation of Mexican food. I never had that at home.
Really?
But rice, beans, and meat, or rice, meat, and veggies are a staple like every day in a Mexican home.
Oh, okay.
So I really do feel like it gets closer to home cooked meal.
Interesting.
I love Chipotle. Like, I'm not trying to like hate on Chipotle because like I love going there, but I feel like I'll never be like, oh, I want Mexican food. Let's get Chipotle.
Yeah, I
But-
don't even think of it as Mexican
But-
food.
but-
Not Mexican food, but it's still like industrialized. You know, it's
A chain restaurant,
Right, correct.
but-
It's a chain restaurant, but I think in terms of the type of food, it's simple, which
That's true.
like home cooked meals are usually simple, and it does remind me a little bit of home because I always have rice and beans at home. I like them.
I gotta say one weakness of a lot of the local authentic taco shops is like you get a burrito and it's like, all right, 4 things in it, or it's like, you know, whatever it is, there's just typically less going on in it, or they'll load up on rice and then a few other things. So it's like the carne asada might be high quality, but if you go to Chipotle, then I mean you're getting multiple salsas, the corn salsa, guacamole, just so many flavors. That like you
I
end up
feel
with 10 ingredients or something.
I feel like they tend to be really heavy on the rice though too, which you like the rice, so I get that. But
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And then like if I go to a local taco shop and I try to get something on the menu that's like more home cooked style, it usually ends up being something that was frozen for like 2 weeks or something, like prepared and frozen for a long time. That's especially like I think it affects the quality too.
interesting.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. I've never heard that before. That like someone say that like Chipotle was more authentic, or
Not authentic.
never heard that before. That like someone say that like Chipotle was more authentic, or
Not authentic, but more simple
mm,
and closer to a home.
fresh.
It just reminds you more of what you eat at home.
yeah.
I guess.
Would
I
you
guess.
say it's fresher?
It's fresher. It's also
Also-
it's simpler,
Mm.
not as processed in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like
it makes sense. There's probably a lot more regulation for a Chipotle than, you know, an average taco shop that
Yeah,
can
maybe.
slide by
But-
with, yeah, meat's good, man, it's all right here, or whatever. But
Yet they're
Chipotle is-
synonymous with E. coli yet. So
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, they're probably cleaner than ever now after trying
Yeah.
to make her come back.
you'd have to think
I
so.
swear we don't have E. coli. I swear.
Hopefully.
They should have a little like E. coli detector they put the food through. Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
clean. You're
That's
good.
scanner.
just stay away from the lettuce.
Oh man, that's one of the healthy things.
I know.
All right, so good talk about food, everyone. So who wants?
Yeah, I can start. Well, I got a quote from J.R.R. Tolkien, and he said, "If more of us valued food and cheer and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world."
Hell yeah, I like that one. It's
That's a
awesome.
good one. Mine is from a person I've never heard of, Paul Prudhomme or something. I don't know, but he said you don't need a silver fork to eat good food.
Oh,
Oh.
nice. I like that.
So my favorite chef is Gordon Ramsay. I love watching his shows and stuff. So I found a quote by him. It says, "If you want to become a great chef, you have to work with great chefs," and that's exactly what I did.
Nice. That applies to a lot of things. I think, like
Yeah,
whatever you
definitely.
want to get good at, hang around people that are good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I told you guys about how my grandma would always say, "Full stomach means a happy heart."
Yeah.
So I went on to look for some food quotes, and I found one that is kind of along those lines.
People that are good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I told you guys about how my grandma would always say, "Full stomach means a happy heart."
Yeah.
So I went on to look for some food quotes, and I found one that is kind of along those lines. It says, one cannot think well, love well, sleep well, if one has not dined well."
Nice, very cool.
Dude, they have that quote in the soup plantation. Literally, it's like on the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
This one's on Google.
Very cool. So I have a, first off, this come from my favorite food-related book of all time, 4 Hour Chef by Tim Ferriss. It's a phenomenal book. Highly recommend it to everyone. A lot of good stuff to learn in there. Tells a bunch of cooking skills and recipes and survival skills too. But, so I have a serious quote and a silly one about food. First one's by Gregory David Roberts, the author of Shantaram. He says, "Food is music inside the body." And
Nice.
silly one from Boston comedian legend Stephen Wright. "I bought some powdered water, but I don't know what to add to it."
Yeah.
Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
How would you rehydrate that?
That's the question, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening to episode 49 of the Rogue Writers podcast. Find a full list of our episodes at nowmediagroup.tv/roguewriters. Connect with us and send us feedback at roguewritersSD@gmail.com, and follow us on Facebook at Rogue Writers Podcast and Twitter at Rogue Writers Pod. Check out Nick's guest blogs on beautysmoothie.com and Google SEOtrends.com. Find Adam's novel, Reclaim Your Mind, on Amazon. And check out Tori's YouTube channel at Tori Rage Cortez. Thank you to